back in the car. Down, down, back in the car. Down, down. Feel like it's been a while. So the Joseph Murphy SP course has concluded. I'll put a link above to it if you haven't checked it out yet. If you have not only SP issues, but just want to work on interpersonal relationships, which is the kind of work, frankly, that I think almost all of us should be doing sometimes, or, it's the kind of thing that takes consistent practice and refinement because most of us are interacting with a lot of people. If you want to work on that or just here's some great advice from Joseph Murphy, check out that course. And what struck me about reading that chapter again and, providing some commentary, having Marvin provide some commentary on that chapter, is first of all that Joseph Murphy is a wonderful teacher. And Marvin and I were actually talking yesterday. We've said this before, and I've spoken to other people who've said it. And, I think a lot of folks, including myself, would probably say that The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy is probably, for most people, the best entry level book to get into the law of attraction, law of assumption, manifesting concepts. If you're at all spiritually inclined, like if the words universe and God and some spiritual language doesn't freak you out, if you weren't scarred with a certain bad Christian Catholic upbringing or whatever, and are open to spiritual language, then that book is probably the go-to book for people who are new to these ideas, I would say. It's probably the best book for that. I can make the argument. I think Mitch Horowitz said that. Mitch, I really respect a lot. He's one of the few people who's spoken and written articulately, despite me not being able to pronounce words. I would consider myself one of the few people who have written articulately about these ideas. And Mitch said as much. He said The Power of Your Subconscious Mind and Psycho-Cybernetics were probably the two books he would recommend to people getting into these ideas. I would argue that you could throw Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion by Emile Coué into there as well. Or perhaps even, the book of his work that I edited back in 2017 called Simple Self-Healing. Because Coué uses more psychological language and not spiritual language. However, that book's a little bit older, a little bit more old-fashioned than Psycho-Cybernetics and The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, which were both written in the 1960s. So they just seem more modern. Even though they're not modern, they seem newer than Coué's work. Doesn't take away from the power of any of those teachers or books. I mean, they're all amazing and basically must-reads as far as I'm concerned if you get into these ideas. But that's one thing that going over that Joseph Murphy SP chapter hit home for me, is just how great a teacher Murphy is and how so many people could benefit from not only reading but actually integrating and applying the ideas that he talks about in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Because what going over the chapter reminded me of as well, and just working with SP clients and people with romantic issues and relationship issues, is how much bad advice people get when it comes to these ideas. Just totally misguided advice from people who really have no place giving an informed opinion when it comes to relationships, or how to manifest a better relationship, or how to bring out qualities of love and peace and harmony in a relationship with yourself and with others. I'm talking about, folks on YouTube, a lot of these people making YouTube videos that are all about techniques, all about tactics, a lot of times about getting someone else to conform in the 3D. And, when you compare and contrast that with what Murphy's talking about, it seems like an entirely different thing, in my opinion. And I'm a little bit less stunned, perhaps, but I'm still stunned and shocked that this is the case. It's almost like a lot of these people watching this content on YouTube or going on Reddit, it's like they want to be lied to. And that's just totally unhealthy and crazy. I try to be the alternative to that. I am the alternative to that, if you vibe with what I'm saying. Not just in these videos, but like in my books or my podcast. I am the clear, sober alternative to that bullshit noise. If you have relationship issues, if you're wondering how to apply these ideas and these concepts in a way that feels fulfilling instead of desperate, you can come to me and I will help you. I feel very confident about that. And if you want that, links to working with me are in the description. But the majority of people on YouTube and Reddit, they talk the talk, they talk a big game. It sounds great in theory, and they're full of shit. And if you've made it this far in this video, you deserve better than that. Because you recognize the truth in what I'm saying. Because it's not about this me first. What can I get? What can I get from these principles? And like what I'm saying about me working with people, it's not like, oh, Tim's so good. It's like, no, we're humble. We bow down. We realize that, me, myself, I can do nothing. But I can listen. I can be in tune with my heart, with my head, with my imagination, and have spirit, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, work through me. But I of myself can do nothing. And that kind of philosophy is what is kind of just etched in so many of these law of attraction, new thought teachings when you get down to it. And it's a wonderful thing to share, and I hope more people share it. I hope more people start YouTube channels that speak about this stuff soberly. I hope more people get off of Reddit. But at the same time, there always will be Reddits. And there always will be very self-centered, egocentric YouTube type of teachings. If it's not YouTube, it'll be something else when it comes to these ideas, because they sound great on paper and they're easy to market. Promise the moon and then under-deliver. God, spirit, the universe is not about that. It's a lot better. So I'm back in my car. I just wanted to remind you that.